I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
If
Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we're getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Family, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear in the chat room. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. It looks like we got some issues over here, and I expect Puke2 to mess with this stream tonight because we have some very important information to break down about the Trump-Zelensky and Vance encounter in the Oval Office. Oh, yes, we're going to definitely have to break this down, family. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me check on my end, but what matters most is if you all hear me clearly. Okay. All right, I can hear me just fine. All right, y'all say y'all can hear me now, okay, because I monitor my chat room. It's a team effort over here, and sometimes you all can catch things that the host of any particular broadcast on any channel may not catch, okay? But family, we're going to break this down because a lot of people have given their takes on it already. All right. You know, when it comes to things of such magnitude, sometimes I will hold what I have to say. And sometimes I won't even cover things if I feel that everybody hit the mark on that. But unfortunately, this is no disrespect to anyone, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of commentary on things like this. They've not served in any type of government official position, and they hadn't served a day in anybody's military. And yet they'll sit there and tell you that they know everything under the sun about things they have no experience in. And that is the opposite of wisdom. That is foolishness. OK, we're going to give you the real deal over here tonight, and you're going to get an education that a lot of people that lack that type of experience will be able to give you. OK, not going to be any speculation over here. This isn't coming from somebody that sits around watching Game of Thrones and idolizing white professors and all that nonsense. No, we're going to get the real deal over here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. OK, so just letting you know what the broadcast is going to be about here tonight. So we actually are going to play a sponsor here tonight, and we definitely going to have a serious acknowledgement coming up right after that. So we're going to go ahead and get into the sponsor. Then we're going to make our acknowledgement here and get down to brass tacks teaching this lesson tonight.
if you are at a point where you fucking hate being around people and the thought of being in the company of human beings makes you sick and want to throw up, that is your body and soul's way of telling you it is time to detox yourself from energy-draining motherfuckers. Sometimes being alone and fasting from people is the answer to your mental health problems. So tell everybody to fuck off and take some time for yourself. That is all.
President Trump, if you see this, please save us. I don't even see our American flag anymore. Biden's talking with some kind of crazy flag. This is America. This is our land. Please, President Trump, please, I hope you have a plan.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and any America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies. And we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies. And any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
Please, I hope you have a plan.
Yeah, I had to bring the classic back tonight, family, you know, because the Shillbillies are irate at me and, you know, they stay telling me what I better not do on my channel. And they haven't learned yet that when you do that, I'm going to double down and triple down and maybe even quintuple down on everything that you told me not to do, because I'm not a man that's accustomed to taking orders now that I'm retired from the United States Navy. Okay, so now we're going to get straight to brass tacks momentarily. But before we do, okay, this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. You see this picture on the screen. A lot of you have probably already seen the altercation now, but we're going to break this down from a retired combat veteran's point of view. And, you know, certain know-it-alls will probably disagree with this, but then again, certain know-it-alls don't know it all. Okay, before we get there, first of all, let me scroll over here and greet my esteemed chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon my manners. I see BME in the house, Christine S. West, Diesel Mike, Priscilla Taylor, Michael Williams, Charlie X, Kevin Blackwell, Sakina Collins, Tanisha Murdoch, Tricia FBA 9. I see you, sister. Let's see, Carla Wilson's in here. My good brother Black Truth United in the building. Very brilliant young brother right there. Let's see. I see Only Pamela's Way, Emma Johnson. Kiko 410 is in the house. Let's see, ATLian underscore 007. Let's see, Theater of the Observed, Stun Zed. I see you. My lieutenant, Tam Chen, is in here. What's going on, sister? Devin Haley. I see you. Let's see, Joe Hunter and my good brother Hot One. Salute and welcome to all of you and anyone that will be joining us in attendance here tonight. So now that I have greeted you, my esteemed chat room, let me make this important acknowledgement to our beloved sister. Rest in power to the magnificently powerful voice, Angie Stone. As you all know, she lost her life in a car accident there. They say that a truck hit them, and man, what a blow to our community, and what a blow to definitely her family. My condolences go out to her family, her friends and loved ones. And boy, her voice was the stuff of magic. She has a legendary career, and as we all know now, you've seen several people speak on it. As usual, a lot of our legends, like Sister Angie Stone, were cheated out of their royalties, and this is why, you know, I hope the younger artists that now they don't have to sign to these record labels, I hope they really remember those like her that paved the way, the brother Prince, Michael Jackson. I mean, we could name on and on, going back to Sam Cooke. Now, thank goodness, due to advancement of technology, they don't have to sign with anybody's record labels and have to worry about trying to get their masters back after years and being cheated in bad deals and contracts. So I hate that, you know, they did that sister like that. I hate she lost her life. Like I said, we lost Roberta Flack. It's a lot of people that have been transitioning, family. So I want to take this time to acknowledge our sister, the legendary Angie Stone. Again, rest in power to her. Condolences to her family, and make sure you all are checking on your family members as well, okay? Because one thing about me, whether you agree or disagree with me, you show up over here, I want you in good spirits and good health. So blessings to all of you, okay? So we just want to give that acknowledgement to our sister. May she rest in power, all right? So now that we have given that proper acknowledgement to the legendary Angie Stone, we're going to get back to what we're discussing here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take the kid gloves off, And we're going to be answering questions in the chat room also, if you have any, about the things that I present to you. Okay. So now, before we even get started, this is some homework you may want to do to compare and contrast this, because I haven't spoken on this particular situation since this last broadcast that I did on my channel here. And here's the name of it. As you can see, it's called Russia-Ukraine Conflict, The Truth. Okay. Now, if you caught that broadcast, you know that I did this in 2023, and I broke down the exact origins of why everything's going on. A lot of information that no people are talking about now and wasn't talking about at the time. And it's all verifiable for you, and it makes sense. So after you watch this broadcast tonight, at your leisure, you may want to go back and check out this broadcast entitled Russia-Ukraine Conflict, The Truth, on my channel. Okay. It's all gonna make sense after the night. Okay. I'm going to be very thorough threading these needles, and I'm going to make it make sense for anybody that hadn't served in the military, has never been a government official. We're going to put it all together for you tonight over here. Okay. You're in the right place. All right. So now, just wanted to bring you up to speed on that, because now we're finna get this brass tacks here discussing this situation. Now, let me go ahead and say this. To a lot of people, especially people, and that fit the description of what I said earlier, hadn't served in any government capacity, never had boots on the ground in anybody's military. For those that don't know, I have over 7 tours under my belt. I'm retired from the United States Navy, former Navy SEAL. Okay, Petty Officer First Class was my rank when I retired. I understand why this went the way it did, okay? And just like I broke down in the previous broadcast that I just showed you all on the screen, I told you how it started. I told people when it started. I said, look, Zelensky has no chance in hell of winning that conflict. And a lot of people like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I tell you what, we finna get some education on just how much I do know what I'm talking about, because I'm going to give you something that shows you exactly why I was right about everything that I stated. So we're going to get started with this education tonight. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. We going to get started with it. Yes, we are indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the screen here, because what I'm about to do, I'm definitely going to put where you can access this information for yourself, because I need to give you all a bit of a current modern day lesson on the powers of the most powerful militaries in the world. Okay. Of course, as you see, number one here, United States. All right. That shouldn't be a shocker to anybody with as much money as we spend on national defense every year, in the excess of the hundreds of billions of dollars. OK, then you add to that, even though it's something I don't agree with, you know, this country always recruits people from other nations, you know, bringing in people. And let me tell you why they do that, too. OK, even though I don't agree with it, I'm going to tell you the truth about why they do this. All right. And salute to the sister AH for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good sister. Let me tell you why they do this, right? Even though I'm not for any immigration. When America goes to conflict with other different countries around the world, and after that conflict is over, a lot of times they'll bring in refugees. Those refugees want to be anywhere except for their homeland. They're grateful to be over here. Some are, but then that's where you get your double agents also. And a lot of them, hey, they'll join the United States military. So, hey, what better way to get at your enemy than recruiting somebody that used to live there, et cetera, et cetera. But like I said, that's a double-edged sword, something I don't agree with doing, but that's why they do that. OK, so now going down this list, and I'm going to put this information in the chat so you can verify for yourself. Number 2 is Russia. No surprise there, or it shouldn't be. In case you're wondering why they're the number 2 strongest military on the planet, they have the edge over America with hypersonic missile technology. However, even though they may have more troops, they don't have as good equipment as we have. And, you know, a lot of the economic issues that are going on over there is why they were ranked number 2. But this is where BRICS is going to come in and change the game. So we got to see how that goes on the world stage. Number 3 would be China. OK, now China has a better economy than Russia. But the reason why they're at number 3, a lot of their stuff is kind of outdated. Now they're fast. They're hurrying up and closing the gap on that. They're not going to stay that way for long. They make good use of these dumbass white supremacist Americans, okay, that want to move all their factories overseas to get cheap labor. You see how they exploited that. I don't need to go into the copy to China plan again tonight. I don't think I do. Okay, I've covered that for years over here on this channel. Now you see what happens when you think you're going to exploit somebody and they flip it back around on you. Okay, China has a very sizable navy. All right. And one of the areas of contention right now on the world stage is the South China Sea, an important trade route. And, you know, we've been in contention with them for controlling that area for quite some time. A lot going on with that. And in case you didn't know, Russia and China have signed joint military agreements to cooperate with one another. And so has South Korea. And thank you very much for that acknowledgement, my good brother Maxwell Jenkins. Thank you, good sir. So they have joined together and saying, basically, look, if you get into it with America, we got your back. That makes sense when you have the second and third most powerful military on the planet and you getting tired of I just got to call it what it is. Everybody looks at the Western powers as the big bullies on the block, and for good reason. We understand why. Like I said, a lot of white people don't like it when I tell the truth about this, but I'm not here to lie to my audience. OK, regardless of what military I served in, got to tell you the truth. OK, so like I said, North Korea has joined in because they know if they're going to be making threats like that, they need economic allies and they need allies that have bigger militaries than them that they can also get equipment from. All right. So now number 4 on the list, 4th most powerful military. This might shock a lot of y'all, but it would be India. Yes. Next to China, they have one of the most populous countries on the planet. OK, similar issues to China. OK, culturally, I'm not going to get into all of that. I'll just say this. It's a bad place to be a woman over there. But as far as just dealing with the military here, they have the 4th most powerful military on the planet. And a quick fact about China, too. Be glad that if you are a soldier that you're not over there in their military, because one of the drawbacks about them, they like to be light and fast, but that comes at a cost. What they don't do is oftentimes the standard bulletproof vest plate carriers that we use over here, they don't carry body armor like that. Only special divisions do, but for the most part, hey, if you out there on the ground, you get hit, well, good luck. I know, right? Sacrificing protection for speed, but that's what they do. Okay. Anyway, the next, the 5th most powerful military would be the South Korean military. Okay. So now I just went through the top 5. Now you probably say, well, G-Biz, why are you doing this? Oh, just hold your horses. I'm going to show you exactly why I'm doing this. Because, see, the average person that has talked about this, they don't understand anything that I'm saying tonight because they wouldn't know this information because they don't check for it. So, all right, the United Kingdom, number 6 on the most powerful militaries. All right, this is ranked by modern day stats. United Kingdom, UK over there. Then you got France, number 7. Japan comes in at number 8. Hey, keep this in mind because you know that under the current laws, Japan is not allowed to have a standing independent military. They're more like a defensive force. And, you know, they rely on the United States to protect them as far as the lion's share of things after what happened, you know, with Pearl Harbor and all that back in December 7, 1941. Okay, that's already history. So y'all should know that. But keep in mind their position on this list. We're going to come back to it. They're number 8. Turkey is number 9. Italy is number 10. OK, now, some of you are very smart. Some of you probably already know why I'm breaking this down this way and showing you. And again, I'm going to put the link in the chat so you all can verify this for yourselves. Now, we just went through the top 10. Keep in mind every country that we went through. Top 10. All right. We ain't done yet. We're going to take this a step further. Y'all going to learn something over here tonight. OK, we don't do speculation on this channel. One thing that you can count on when I give you any type of information about the military, war, etc., I'm going to be right on the money with it because I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's my wheelhouse, and I'm going to keep up with these things because a part of one of my businesses actually deals with things of that nature. OK, so now number 11, Brazil. Number 12, you got Pakistan. Then you got Indonesia. All right. Then you got Germany. At number 14, number 15, you got Israel. Now, we all know Israel with an asterisk because they stayed dumping billions of dollars over there to that little tiny place. But I'm going to give you some facts about Israel. One of the things that makes them so powerful, besides United States money and all the equipment they get, because they don't have all that on their own, they have some very well-trained troops. I will give them that. And then when it comes to like any type of, intelligence agencies abroad, the Israeli Mossad are some of the most vicious killers on the planet, right next to the CIA. I would rank them number one and number two as far as the CIA and the Mossad as far as who are the most vicious. Those are your stone cold killers right there, okay? And look, they have a vast array of resources around the world. They're responsible for a lot of sabotage with a great many things. Like I said, a lot of that I can't go into on this channel, but if you're over on my Patreon, you've already known a lot of what I'm talking about for years, but we're going to make it plain to the public over here tonight as best we can within the guidelines of YouTube, okay? So now we've gone through 15 so far. We're not done yet. Got some more to show you here because I'm getting ready to make a point, and I'm going to put this information in the chat so you all can have to verify it. So now number 16, we have Iran, all right? And we're going over the most powerful militaries in case you just joined over here. Number 17, you have Spain. Number 18, you see you got Australia. 19, you got Egypt. And oh, look at number 20. Number 20, ladies and gentlemen. Number 20. Does anybody recognize that abbreviation, number 20? Okay, let me go ahead and put this information in the chat room. This link I'm putting in here, this is where you can verify these things and find out where other militaries in the world rank. In fact, the business, I'm going to put it in here 4 times for you so that you will be sure to have this information. Now, look at who's at number 20. Ukraine. We went through the top 5, went through the top 10. Ukraine is nowhere near in the top 5 or top 10. Japan, ranked number 8, has a stronger military defensive force than Ukraine. Let that sink in for a minute. For all the idiots that was talking about, oh, Ukraine is going to win this. I'm like, first of all, if you knew the history of that, of course, Ukraine was a part of the old Soviet bloc and they broke off. When you're looking at Ukrainians and Russians, they're basically the same people as far as like the culture and the language. So that's interchangeable. But after they broke off from the Soviet bloc, you got a lot of the past, Russian leaders, they wanted to reclaim all that stuff. And Putin is kind of like, okay, if you're going to be over there, then you better not be clicking up with these NATO nations, okay, the Eastern NATO nations that they keep trying to add, which has Putin agitating. He's like, look, you got all these people at my back door now. I'm telling you to chill out with that bullshit. So they have been flirting with trying to get Ukraine into NATO. And, Putin got tired of it. And he was like, okay, all right, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Okay, there comes a point when you do have to stop talking to people. So I do understand where he's from. Now, let's take it even further back. You probably say, well, GBS, why is the United States constantly messing with them like that? Okay, it got us on the verge of World War III. Well, you got to take it on back to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, in case you don't know what that was, this was at a time where we definitely did not have good relationships with Russia, okay? They're better today than they were then, with the exception of this issue here, okay? But the Cuban Missile Crisis, basically Russians were going to put their missile silos down there in Cuba, and that would have given them close proximity to strike the United States under any type of hostile or military aggression. Now, you can't have an adversarial country with their armaments and their, ordnance that close to your nation, all right, with that missile technology that they had back then, which is far more advanced now, okay? So that's kind of a grudge that goes way back to then. And, what they decided to do was started forming nations in NATO and start trying to surround the back door or the back porch area of Russia with a whole bunch of American or NATO-friendly nations, all right? So there's your backstory on that. So now, does that make sense now why Ukraine had no chance in hell of winning any type of military conflict with Russia, okay? If it wouldn't have been for Jim Crow Joe Biden's goofball ass, and salute Sakina Collins for the cash app. Thank you very much, my good sister. If it wouldn't have been for Jim Crow Joe Biden's goofball ass, which Trump is going to label him accordingly in what we're going to analyze here tonight, you shouldn't have been sending billions of dollars over to a lost effort, okay? Zelensky's best bet when this whole thing began was to try to sit down and have peace talks and work something out. In other words, this is the way this should have been, where nobody would have had to go to war. Zelensky is over there in his nation, in the Ukraine, he's the president of, okay? You got Putin over here. You already see that y'all was butting heads. The smart thing for them to do, they basically should look at each other as cousins, okay? Because that's really what their people are. They're basically the same folks. We'll just call them cousins, all right, to give some respect for their individuality that they want recognized. They should have told everybody else, hey, man, this is a family affair. Y'all stay out of it. Me and him will work this out. But no, Zelensky's dumbass. Oh, no. He gonna sit here and let Jim Crow Joe Biden and these idiots, okay? These idiots are the ones that were in his ear influencing him to do what you're gonna see him do here tonight. Let's go over these names. Now, these are former Biden administration appointees and officials. Anthony Blinken, the former Secretary of State, Victoria Nuland, Susan Rice, I know y'all know who she is, bed wench, okay? And Alexander Vindman, okay? So now, if y'all was wondering where did Zelensky get that battery put in his back to show his ass like that, these are the four main people that did that. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not the liberal nor conservative, and I'm not Republican or Democrat, but we're just talking about if you were in an administration as a president and you got people that was undermining you like this from the former administration, let me tell you one oversight that Trump should have done, and he's probably going to go ahead and do it now because I know I would. If I found out that former administration officials were undermining me like that and putting a bug in the back of a guy that I'm trying to get something squashed with so we can avoid conflict on a major scale, I would revoke their security clearance immediately. Because, see, for those of you that don't know, former high-ranking officials, they don't lose their security clearance. And see, why is that important? That means that you no longer have legal access to certain types of information. I would just go ahead and cut them out the loop. That should have been done day one when he took office, okay? I mean, and look, I know he's going to clear that up because it would be in his best interest to do so, because you can't have people playing like that, man, when you're trying to get things done. They basically are still salty because they party lost the election. So now all this bullshit is like, let me jab at Trump, even at the expense of the security of this country, okay? And then you see they don't want nobody to save money as far as just throwing money over there at Biden's little boo thing on a regular basis. Hell no, that's you and I tax dollars. And last time I checked, I didn't vote for my tax dollars to go to Ukraine. And I doubt any of you did. Let me check. Did anybody in my chat room vote for your tax dollars to go to Biden's boo thing, Zelensky? I'm just going to check. And my lieutenant is right. Zelensky wants the money, not peace. You are definitely right, sister. And he does not care about how many of his own people's lives are lost. Because if you look at the Ukraine's military force, it isn't even a quarter of the size of Russians. They conscripting people to fight over there, man. They got, and I got to tell the truth and shame the devil, you got a lot of these tethers running over to Ukraine to fight. Now, this is why that's shameful, because, see, you're talking to somebody that's very well traveled even before I joined the military. You need to understand this. Remember when I covered on this very channel, you can find these broadcasts, well, I showed you that during the start of the pandemic, they was kicking African students of all different nations from the continent out of Ukraine and blaming them for the pandemic, okay, the beer bug. Now they're running their ass over there to help them fight instead of helping and fighting their own country to make it what it should be. Yeah, that's what's going on. Even worse, over there in Ukraine, and this is why I'm definitely not a fan of Zelensky's punk ass, they have the Azov battalion over there. Now, in case you don't know what that is, that's a band of fucking Nazis. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And look, they was giving them Africans the blues over there. They going over there to fight for a person's military that's got open Nazis in the military, disrespecting them and calling them everything but a child of God to their face. I wish I could play some of that here on YouTube, but I would have to censor everything that's being said in that so much. I would have to probably put that on Patreon if y'all want to see it. But those are the facts on this. Easily verifiable, okay? But these four jackasses right here, I would just go ahead and revoke most of the Biden administration's security clearance. Let me just go ahead and snatch this shit so you won't be causing me problems. Because, you know, for me, I wouldn't have patience to deal with that. You willing to play political games and put this country's taxpayer dollars at risk and our national security at risk because you solved it because your party won. Nah. See, when they get to talking about patriotism, these motherfuckers don't fit the bill. Look at this shit they doing. And you ain't never seen black Americans do nothing like this, okay? So I just want to bring y'all up to speed on that. And I hope that has cleared up a lot that most people probably haven't talked about because, see, it's my business to keep up with this type of stuff. So we're going to get into analyzing a little bit of what went on here, okay? Because, see, everybody's talking about, oh, he shouldn't have did that. There's a bad look. Let me say this, man. Everything that you're about to see, this is what you do when you're in charge. First and foremost, the only people that you care about whose opinion matters is the people that you are the president of, the citizens of this nation, all right? And most Americans didn't have a problem with what Trump did unless you over there with hardcore Democrats, okay? This is not the time to be trying to be quiet about things when somebody come and your president they're disrespectful. Now, I've heard other people point out one of the main things, and we're going to get straight to that before we get into this. Look at this picture, okay? Now, you see Trump in a suit, you see Vance in a suit. He come there in fucking soccer game attire or whatever the fuck he was trying to do. That's disrespectful as hell, man. Your attire does matter, okay? Your attire does matter. You think about it. That's like, okay, you show up to somebody's, let's say we're going to name a couple things. If you were going to somebody's wedding and they told you exactly what the dress attire was going to be, and then you come in there and some damn work clothes and, you know what I'm saying, some gym attire or something, everybody going to be looking at you like, what are you doing? You going to get a job or what have you. You come in there, you know it's a decent job. You going to go in there wearing stuff that you would go play basketball in or something like that, huh? Gym shorts and shit. Your employer's not going to take you very seriously, okay? So you think about, just those two examples alone on a more minor level. If you are a head of state, you show respect to the current head of state, even if you didn't set horses with him or agree with him. The one thing we do know, you've been getting American taxpayer dollars and you show your little punk ass up over here like that. Nah, man, I don't have a problem with what Trump said to him. I don't at all. I'm going to get to breaking down why. Because, see, a lot of jackasses that sit around and watch Game of Thrones and all this other goofy shit, I don't have to call no names. Y'all know who the jackasses are that'll tell you they know everything under the sun and they ignorant as hell on things like this. We're going to prove why it wasn't a bad decision. We're going to go ahead and get started reviewing a couple of things. We're going to stop it where need be. Want to show y'all something too real quick. Tying in with what we're going to be talking about tonight as far as how Trump looks on the American stage and the world stage, recent news here, they just caught one of the most famous and powerful drug lords of the Mexican cartel down there, Mexican drug lord Rafael Caro Quintero. Okay, they got him over here now as of this news, and he's pled not guilty to 1985 killing of U.S. federal agents. Yes, this guy was the real deal. He was catching DEA agents and chopping them up and doing all kinds of stuff to him. So now they got him over here. He forced the president of Mexico not only to take her illegal aliens back, we're going to call it what it is. Trump was like, look, if you don't want me to put these tariffs on you, you better go ahead and extradite your boy over here. Because, see, at first they wasn't going to do it. But, see, the president of Mexico is a woman. And Trump is, look, like him or not, the man is doing what he said he was going to do when he got in office. Now, I got a question to ask my audience. Whether you like Trump or not, as far as who's in charge of this nation, would you rather have somebody that keep their word and get shit done? Or would you rather have Biden stumbling, mumbling ass in there? Somebody that all he do is use our tax dollars and just write a blank check, giving shit to everybody that doesn't deserve it, doesn't need it, that you didn't vote for to have your money, huh? A pushover. Nobody respected Biden on the world stage. Since Trump come in here, like I said, he been kicking ass and taking names, man. It is what it is. So you can't do nothing but respect that. You ain't got to like it. The man is keeping his word. Now, I want to bring y'all up to speed on who this jackass was here that they called. Check this out.
And Mexico extradited 29 alleged drug traffickers to the United States as it faces mounting pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump to tackle drug smuggling. Several Mexican drug cartel kingpins, including the former leaders of ultra-violent Zetas cartel, Omer and Miguel Angel Trevino Morales, as well as veteran drug trafficker Rafael Caro Quintero, who is accused of murdering an undercover U.S. agent, were among those handed over. Caro Quintero was on the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation's list of 10 most wanted fugitives until his capture in 2022. He was accused of ordering the kidnap, torture and killing of Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena. The extraditions follow Trump's designation of 8 Latin American drug trafficking organizations, including 6 Mexican cartels, as terrorist organizations. The announcement comes as a high-level Mexican delegation, including the foreign, defense and security ministers, visited Washington for talks with counterparts, including U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The Mexican government said that Mexico and the United States agreed to take coordinated action to tackle drug trafficking. The government further added that the goal is to reduce deaths due to the consumption of illicit fentanyl, as well as cutting down illegal trafficking of firearms. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has pledged to collaborate with Washington while rejecting any invasion of her country's sovereignty. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
All right, so now you see that not only did they get old boy Raphael, they got 29 of his subordinates there as well. Okay, and salute to good brother Project Leroy for the cash app. So now, again, she's trying to avoid the tariffs. She's taking her illegal aliens back, and she'd rather do that because let me tell y'all something. I'm going to try to be careful with this. The fentanyl issue, we all know who is taking out the most, okay? It is taking out them folks. They can't, if it was just black people, they wouldn't even give a damn about, the fentanyl over here. But see, it's their people that's mostly on it. Now, do you have some black people here or there, on that stuff? Yes, you do. Yes, you do, but it's nowhere near the numbers of them folks, okay? They can't afford with, their low birth rates, their mass shooter problem, the fentanyl taking them out. They lost significant numbers during the pandemic. They can't afford no more bad news to their population numbers, okay? Not to mention all the other folks, especially black folks, we don't have no problems reproducing, okay? So they have to take it serious. I get it. But let me tell you why she's trying to do that, because you heard the reporter there say she's against any invasion of her nation because, see, they were threatening to go ahead and put the military on the issue. OK, now, a lot of you are saying, well, how could he do that, GBS? They can't go into another nation's country. Let me break something else down to you that other people are not going to tell you about. OK, so now, Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, it allows member states of the United Nations to actually use force in self-defense if they are attacked by another member state. OK, so now let me show you what Article 51 comes into play with this. It doesn't have to be an invasion or a military attack if they are, facilitating the flow of deadly illicit drugs over here. That counts under, giving you authorization under Article 51 to go in there and do what you need to do. OK, it gives you the actual authority to do that. All right. So now let me tell you something else that would allow Trump to go in and use the military. Title 50 of the United States Code. OK, now that applies to war, espionage and national defense. And let me tell you why that would apply with the Mexican cartel. They've been designated as a terrorist group. OK, they've committed crimes over here because we have members of the Mexican cartel over here in these borders. All right. Remember, thanks Jim Crow Joe Biden opening up the borders and letting all these fuckers over here. OK, they were over here before, but not in the numbers they are now. OK, they've committed terrorist acts over here on United States soil. And that's where they fucked up at, because now that allows you to designate the entire organization as a terrorist organization. And with United Nations Article 51 and United States Code Title 50, now you actually have the legal right to go in there and do what you need to do. OK, so now I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, GBS, in order to go to war, he would need the approval of Congress. There's an asterisk to that. he can actually, and all presidents can go to war without the complete approval of Congress. But here's where the asterisk comes in at. In order for it to be a sustained conflict, they would have to then get the approval of Congress, okay? So, you know, he can't just go ahead and say, look, nope, we're going in there, we're shutting the shit down. All right, so now, in case anybody says, well, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, they ain't gonna do that. Let me talk to you from a retired combat veteran's point of view. You see, there's certain things that happen that if you are proud military, if you see these things going on, you already know the shit is about to hit the fan. I'm going to be brief about this because they don't like you talking about this kind of stuff on here. But how many of you in here, first of all, let me ask, how many of you in here are retired veterans? Because you all can verify what I'm about to say. Y'all probably already know where I'm going. Y'all probably keep up with this stuff as well. How many people in here are retired veterans? Anybody? And tell me what branch of the service you were in too, real quick. I want to see something real quick. We have any retired veterans in here from any branch of the service? All right. Because I want to see something. I'm about to name something. And y'all keep this in mind. Because to be honest with you, they've actually started using this stuff they were using this stuff on black people, but now they finna have to use this stuff on other people as far as surveillance. Okay. So let me go ahead and bring y'all up to speed on why I'm saying that military force is not out the picture. There is a surveillance plane, a military surveillance plane, okay? The RC-135VW, better known as a rivet joint, okay? The reason why the rivet joint is so important as far as like combat surveillance is not so much the weapons. This thing, if it's flying over any designated area, it acts like an intelligent sponge. It has all types of surveillance equipment on there that I can't really name on this channel like that because they will definitely start messing with it. But basically, in layman's terms, just think of something flying over your house, accessing all your phone calls, your internet, everything, okay? I mean, and they've got two of them right now as we speak, circling down in the Southern California border and flying very close to the Mexican border, okay? Now, when they deploy those rivets, that's not for nothing, okay? Any intel that they're collecting, that's going to be actionable. I'm telling you, take it from somebody that knows, all right? So I'm just letting you know that it's not out of the question. So she better cooperate with him or else. I mean, and look, I said this before on X a couple of weeks ago. It was some people talking about the cartel this, the cartel that. Let me tell you something, dude. Not only are they no match for standard military, but if they deploy every branch of special operations, special warfare operators, which is I'm a retired one, okay, former SEAL. If they deploy all special warfare operators from the Green Berets, Delta Force, SEALs, okay, Marine Raiders, listen, it would be over with. That shit wouldn't even last a month. They're a bunch of thugs with guns. It's a different when you've been trained to actually tactically shoot and defend and all the equipment and ordnance that you have. Now, your problem would come in at is, you know, actually having the cooperation of that country so you can resupply, but that can be worked around. That can be worked around, trust me. So it would be in her best interest to cooperate. I'll say that, you know, and let's hope that they do, because, man, that would be the end of the cartel. I'm going to tell you that right now. A sustained military effort. Look, Mexico is not Afghanistan, okay? It would be different if that terrain was set up like Afghanistan. Okay, now you could dig in. It would be, y'all saw what happened with that, okay? But Mexico ain't Afghanistan. I'm going to leave it right there, okay? So I brought that up just to show you how, you know, Trump is getting things done that Biden was fumbling and bumbling around because he was trying to get this guy. But, you know, shit, like, oh, you a punk. I ain't got to take you serious. You ain't going to make me take my illegal aliens back, okay? Since you want them, you can have them. And I'm damn sure not going to cooperate with you on nothing. Man, y'all remember, and again, this isn't about whether you like Trump or not. Remember before he even won the election, when they thought he was getting close, they were like, hey, bro, everybody started trying to get some act right. China, Xi Jinping, that gangster, okay, Vladimir Putin, all of them started talking like they had some sense. All of them. You remember they was all talking about what they're not going to do and who they're not going to take back? The president of India came over here, take your illegals back. And the president Scheinbaum down there in Mexico, yep, you took your illegals back, okay? And now you had to give up your criminals down here. So I'm just showing you the difference, man. Like I said, it ain't about like, this is business. So, hey, so far, he's on the right track. My only point of contention with Trump, as I covered, is the whole Gaza thing. I still stand firm by saying leave that shit alone. That would not be a good move. So I hope that was just something he was saying to threaten them and, you know, just kind of hang it over their head. But yeah, as far as actually doing that, going over to talking about colonizing Gaza, nah, man, we don't need to do that. So anyway, we're going to get down here to discussing this meeting, okay? Because let me show y'all something, man. I got to go ahead and clown early before we get here. I want y'all to keep this in mind. During this meeting, this is what it's going to look like for Zelenski here, because he's about to get sunned. Check this out. Yep, I had to play the little meme real quick because that's how it's going to be. He's going to be shrinking in his chair damn near to the point that he disappears, okay? They're about to check his ass and see. We're going to break down why each point was actually the right thing to do because it started out civil. But see, you know, let me tell y'all something. Yeah, you know we got to throw the humor here. Yeah, I got my jokes, but we're gonna educate y'all tonight, okay? Let me show you something, man, okay? To be honest, those of you that are parents in here, you know sometimes when your child start misbehaving, sometimes you might have to discipline them in public, okay? It's not that you want to do it, but you be like, all right, now don't get to smelling yourself. That's pretty much what you're about to see here. So we're going to go ahead and start playing this, and then we're going to stop and break things down where need be.
This thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, you know, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more.
Now, let me pause this right here because, you know, for all the jackasses that think they know so much and telling y'all, oh, he shouldn't have said that. You don't discipline your subordinates in public and all of that goofball shit. Let me tell you why you got to give Trump what critics do. Because, see, some people hate this man so much that they can't be objective. And look, I'm gonna say this. If it was Biden sitting in this chair, he just made the remark that I'm about to give Trump credit for, I would give Biden credit. But he wasn't doing that. When you hear somebody as bullheaded and as stubborn as Trump saying, hey, look, I could be tough, this, that, the third. Okay, a lot of people think he's crazy. That man ain't crazy. He got plenty of sense. But he's trying to say, hey, let's try to get this thing solved. Y'all shouldn't be killing each other. And see, I'm going to tell you something else that factors into it. Even though Zelensky and him are getting into it, and even though Putin and Trump have kind of gone back and forth over the years, they haven't, you know, collided yet, but they're looking at it from the standpoint like, hey, man, you know, white people are only 7% of the global population. You can't tell me that Trump isn't looking at it from that standpoint also. All right, because their numbers are struggling all over the world, not just here in this country. So I'm going to give Trump credit for actually trying to say, hey, man, let's let cooler heads prevail and let's work out some type of deal. All right. Now, to be honest with you, like I said before, one of the quickest ways to get Putin to just back down and chill out, they're going to have to cut some kind of deal, not just a ceasefire, but he's going to need some kind of guarantees like, hey, man, stop putting these fucking NATO nations at my back doorstep, okay? Think about it. Let me make it personal for y'all. Let's just say if it was a neighbor that you got into it with in your neighborhood, okay? Y'all been going back and forth for years. It's done got physical. Y'all done come to blows. Now, they start moving their kinfolks in right up around where you at. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know, you're finna have problems if that continue. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of trying to give it to you in layman's terms so it kind of makes sense for people that don't follow this type of stuff. I want everybody to be able to keep up over here tonight. And please do ask questions if you need to. All right. I will be looking in the chat room to see, you know what I'm saying, if people are asking anything. But, you know, I'm just trying to give y'all the context of that. So a lot of people that sitting here talking about, man, he shouldn't have said that in public to him because he's a subordinate and all this other goofball shit. No, give this man credit for trying to check this jackass because you're going to see he's going to make several points that's going to correlate with what I showed you earlier. See, I broke this broadcast down in this order for a reason. I showed you that Ukraine right now on the modern military power index is ranked at number 20. They're not even in the top 10, ain't even top 5. When Japan has a stronger military than you need to sit your ass down, okay? Let it continue.
More question. Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
JD Vance is right, and I never thought I would ever hear myself saying that about this old hillbilly redneck. I'm no fan of either of them, but damn it, when he's right, he's right. Look, I can be objective that way. The president he's talking about, of course, in case any young people are listening, he's talking about former President Biden, okay? The whole world looked at Biden as a punk. Whatever he said, they were like, man, you can't even remember what day of the week it is. You shaking imaginary people's hands, falling upstairs, falling downstairs. He was looked at as a joke on the world stage. Y'all better understand that debate that he had against Trump, oh man, you saw, look, I guarantee you that after that debate, because I know they were watching it, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un was all busting out laughing. Like, do you see this clown? They were like, oh, he gone. It's on. They're like, boy, he don't even know where he coming and going. Man, we finna run the yard. But man, they were hoping Biden would have won. Because you remember Putin was kind of trolling, talking about congratulating Kamala Harris because he really did want that bitch to win. But look, let me tell you something. Zelenski think it's bad now? Oh, boy, if Kamami would have won, we would have really been in World War III because, see, for those of you that don't know, I know a lot of y'all, a lot of people, not most of you over here, but some people listen to this that don't understand why you got to play delicate with that situation. See, sending money and equipment is one thing, but if you would have put United States troops on the ground to actually help and fight against Russia, oh, yeah, now that would have took things to a whole nother level because, like I said, they would definitely have to send the special warfare operators over there first, and that's when you're going to meet the equivalent and would be our rivals, even though we've never come into direct contact with one another. That's when they would deploy Spetsnaz, okay? Those are the actual equivalent of United States Navy SEALs. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If we would have had to go up against them, yeah, that wouldn't have been easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we couldn't have whooped their asses, but yeah, that would have been our equivalent. I've got sense enough to understand that because of the type of equipment they use and what they train like and everything is like, yeah, Spetsnaz is no joke, okay? If they deploy them anywhere in a country that doesn't have an equivalent force, yeah, you're going to get your ass whooped, okay? And they really don't, they don't give second chances or anything like that. Very capable military force. So they would have got involved. Then, like I said, Russia and China, a joint cooperative military agreement, they would have got involved because like they were saying, they were like, look, if America sends troops over here, all right, we got your back. Okay, the People's Liberation Army of China, they would have got involved, all right? So basically with everything that I'm saying and everything that I showed you earlier, JD Vance is correct. Diplomacy would be better in this situation, okay? Now, it's gotten to the point where it's combat, and from Zelensky's point of view, yes, they've invaded his country, but he kept antagonizing them. See, basically what Zelensky was doing, let's give it to you this way. Zelensky was doing kind of what Israel does on the world stage, but the problem is he didn't have the funding and the backing of America until late in the game. So he kept barking once he started getting that money, and a lot of people suspect there's money laundering going on. I suspect we'll find that out. Hopefully Elon Musk, whose punk ass I can't stand, will get on, examining where that money went and what it was used for with those. Hopefully we can find that out too. The American people should know. But like I said, you got a little chihuahua, a defenseless chihuahua in Ukraine and Zelensky barking and wagging their tail and everything and puffing their chest out when you don't have the military capability to go up against Russia like that. Not on your own, you don't. They're barely, holding on with the money and the equipment that we have given them under Biden, okay? So diplomacy would definitely be a better option in this situation. Let's let it continue.
Tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014
2014.
and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but,
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations.
Now, see, this is the part I don't like with Zelensky. Now, see, this is what I don't, it's called lying by omission. He's telling the truth about the time period that, you know, Putin invaded Ukraine. But you know what he's doing right now? And look, I'm just going to go ahead and call it, since he was disrespectful enough to come to our country in the Oval Office dressed like a little thug, a little punk. I'm going to call him the bitch that he is, because he's lying like a bitch. He's leaving out the part where he kept antagonizing Putin. See, when Biden gave him that first influx of cash, he started poking his chest out. And see, this is what I don't like about motherfuckers that run countries. You sit there and you poke your chest out, but his punk ass ain't on the front lines fighting nobody. It's your young men and women that's going to die. Now, that's their country, but I'm just calling it like it is. Now you see why I have long said, you know, this is why I don't advocate for any black young men and women to go into the service. But if you're already in there, God bless you, okay? Feel like none of us should ever go in there until they cut the check for our reparations and give us an anti-black hate crime bill. But I understand if you choose to do that, all right? Now, the reason why I always have said that if you're going to go to war, the rules should be globally. Everybody should agree on this. Okay, you got problems with each other where you just got to go to war that bad? Half of your Congress, half of your Senate, the current president should appoint the vice president. Y'all should have to go suit up and get over there on the front lines in the theater of combat with the men and women that you're going to send fight your battles for you. I guarantee you, if that was the rule of thumb, it would be a lot less conflict around the globe, okay? I mean, think about it. If you really want to go to war that bad, some of y'all should have to get out there. You shouldn't be able to just sit in the fucking office and send young people halfway across the world to fight your fucking battles because you can't get along with somebody, okay? I will forever hold that stance because I've seen too much. I've seen things, man, that most of y'all, I hope none of you ever have to witness or experience. And thankfully you won't if you're not a part of any military and you're not in an active combat zone, okay? And like I said, when I'm looking at kids, man, you know, and when I say kids, I'm talking about people in their 20s. I want them to live to at least get to the age that I am. I don't like seeing anything that threatens the lives of young people before they get at least to my age. You know what I'm saying? They deserve to do that, especially when they just starting to live. So that's where I'm looking at Zelensky. He's leaving out all the shit that he was doing to antagonize Putin, okay? Now, am I saying that it was right for Putin to just run over there and just invade? No. But the way he kept threatening the man, and then they sitting up here egging him on, talking about putting him into NATO. Because, like, you remember I showed you in the previous broadcast that I put up on the screen where they had applied to join NATO and they wagging that around in the press. Y'all probably forgot about that, but they was waving around that they considering them and all this. And Putin was like, all right, you know, we already got problems now. If you do that, that's the last straw. So he's leaving that part out. But now y'all know the truth and you can verify everything I just said. Let's let it continue.
My bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD?
See, Zelensky, you can pull that on people that don't keep up with geopolitical affairs. Let me tell you something else he's leaving out, okay? Before Putin actually sent troops in, do you know this little bastard right here was sending his agents over there, and they caught a couple of them over there in Russia. They caught a couple of them. This was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? And they interrogated them, and, you know, they made them. Because look, let me tell you something, boy. You do not want to get caught in a country like Russia, and you over there trying to do anything to threaten their national security. They don't give a fuck about that Geneva Convention and all that other bullshit. That's one of the countries that don't care. They're going to give your ass the blues. You hear me? By the time they finish with them, boy, I do remember that they caught them, but what happened to them after that, I'm not sure if they returned them to Ukraine or if they still serving prison time over there in Russia or what. I don't know, but I do remember it happening. So see, he's not talking about the little shit that you were doing before the bullets started flying. Think about it. If you really wanted peace, you would have think he would have been saying, hey man, look, okay, you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We got our problems. We need to try to come to the table and work something out. You know, before that, you don't do little shit like that. I mean, that's like somebody, think about back when you was in school. I want to simplify this for people. Think about back when you was in school and you always had that little punk kid that would run up and do something to you when the teacher's not around and then go run behind the teacher after they done some shit. That's basically what he did when he attempted to do that, okay? Because I want this to be simplified for everybody to understand across the board here tonight. All this lying. And see, look, let me tell you something. You see why Trump is looking at him like that? I wish Trump would have said that because I know he knows it if I know it. And that's why he's looking at it. He like, man, you are so full of shit. But see, to be honest with you, he was trying not to embarrass him by telling the world that, but he should have. He should have let it all hang out and be like, nah, man, you leaving facts out. Tell the truth if you're going to talk about it. Let's let it continue.
You are speaking about. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be.
JD Vance is correct. These conscripts, family, they're as young as 17 to 18 years old. They teenagers. Teenagers. You let that sink in for a minute. Teenagers. Now, this is the part that a lot of jackasses that ran their mouths about this, talking about he shouldn't have said this in public. JD Vance had enough at that point, and he was trying to tell him, like, hey, man, this stuff you talking about, we can talk about this after the cameras are off in a skiff. That's basically a secure room, okay, where it's only the heads of state in there talking about certain things. That's basically what JD Vance was trying to tell him, like, hey, man, you the one talking about shit here that we can discuss after these cameras go off, because it ain't like he was just going to immediately jump on a plane and leave. So JD is like, hey, man, nah, not in front of the camera. So he started this shit, okay? It ain't like they just came in there and started jumping down his throat. You see what I'm saying, family? Does that make sense? I want to take the temperature of the chat room. Is what I'm saying so far, does that make sense? Because see, a lot of people that try to cover this from a slanted point of view, they're not giving you what I'm giving you here tonight. I'm going to break this down play by play and show you where things went wrong. Does that not make more sense? Confidential, contentious issues. In other words, let's put it this way. Most heads of state, when it comes to affairs like this, yeah, they'll give you the sanitized public version of it. But after the cameras go off and they go in secure room, they'll be like, okay, look, you know you're full of shit, XYZ. If we gonna come to some type of agreement, hey man, look, we gonna have to do this, and this. And then when they go back in front of the public, everybody's smiling. So Zelensky is breaking political protocol here as far as like the etiquette factor, okay? He started this shit, and see, at this point, when somebody try you like that on the world stage in front of the world and your own country, you got to understand that Trump is trying to show the American people that I'm not going to be a pussy like Biden, okay? That I just got to call it what it is. Because, see, if he would have just sat there and just let him get away with that, everybody would be like, oh, no, you should have checked them, man. Think about it. Watch this. I'm going to show you what most of you would probably agree, even if you can't stand Trump. They've given this man $350 billion of our taxpayer dollars Are any of you okay with him coming over here being disrespectful after that much of our money has gone into Biden's little boo thing, Zelensky's hands? Would you not want him to be checked? Whether you like Trump or not, come on now, talk to me. Huh? Would you not? Don't you consider that disrespectful? That's your money. Money that we could be using for infrastructure, education of our kids, getting our homeless off the streets, our reparations money. Come on now. Whether you like Trump or not, do you not agree that he should have been checked for being disrespectful like this? Because it is disrespectful. And look, to give him credit, not during the last 4 years that Trump was in office, I never saw him go over to anybody's country and just get outrageous like that. And you know Trump can do it if he wanted to. I ain't never seen him go over to nobody's country and be this disrespectful, man. You see what I'm saying? So now, yeah, 350 billion. You know what I'm saying? And Biden was going to give him more than that. You know, our tax dollars that we didn't vote to approve that. And remember, Jasmine Crocker bullshit bundles. We're not in the business of giving out money. Oh, you was in the business of giving Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, our money without our permission. Bundles. But you got a problem with giving American taxpayers $5,000 of our money that's been stolen from us through these different little fraud agencies like USAID back to us. Keep that in mind now. She didn't talk like this when the money was going to the Vladimir Zelensky, okay? Vladimir, however you pronounce it. Zelensky, okay? She wasn't talking like that then. That's when she should have been opening her mouth talking about we're not in the business of giving money out. And see, don't believe me. Go pull up Jasmine Crockett's congressional record and you can see where she voted yes on sending more funding to Ukraine. Oh, yeah. See, this is what we teach you over here. Look at these jackass politicians' political records and see what they voted yes and no for. That's also something that you always use that comes into play when they come asking you for their votes. You put their political records back in their face, but ho. You voted to send more of our taxpayer dollars over here to Zelensky? Okay, bitch. And then you had a problem with us getting a $5,000 refund on some of this stolen money? Oh, yeah, we see whose side you on, huh? But that's okay, though. They're going to deal with bundles. My point is this. They did the right thing in checking him here. We're going to let it continue.
Thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell.
Now, this is the part right here, okay? This is the part right here where little know-it-all jackasses would say they took offense to it. But let me tell you something. If you're a retired veteran, you were glad that Trump checked this little motherfucker. That was basically a low-key threat. You don't feel now, but you have ocean, you will feel. Like, hold on, man. No, first of all, we have a better trained, better equipped military than you. And second of all, hey, look, if it has to go down, hey, we with the shits over here, okay? We all the way about the business, and you should know that. You got to keep in mind who you were asking for help, Zelensky. We weren't asking you for nothing. You asked us for help, okay? Our tax dollars. So I understand why Trump checked his ass. You're like, hey, man, nah, I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect my country and the United States military as if we going to be, oh, my God, they coming to get us. No, ain't nobody over here. No. Look, whether you active military or retired, I know you understand where I'm coming from. See, a lot of people that had never served, they didn't get why that was such a disrespect to particularly the United States Armed Forces. Every branch. I don't care whether you reservist, National Guard, to active SWO, okay, or retired, like myself. No, man. No, because see, he's delusional. Keep in mind the people that I showed you on the screen earlier. Anthony Blinken, Victoria Nuland, Susan Rice, okay, Alexander Vindman. Those were the people that it's been confirmed they were talking to him. Now, they're no longer in the administration. They have security, or they had security clearances. Hopefully they revoked them. But they were sitting up there talking to Vladimir Putin, not Vladimir Putin, but Zelensky. before this meeting with Trump, telling him to basically go in here and be an obstinate little prissy bitch. You think about it. I got to use this type of language. You think about, okay, let's put it this way, because I really want this to stick to y'all. I want y'all to see why Trump was not wrong for checking his ass. Any of you in here, okay, and you ain't got to put your business out here, but any of you in here, have you ever had to lend money to a family member? Okay, I'm talking about a family member that ain't had a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. You lend them money and get them back on their feet, okay? You make sure they got food to eat, clothes on their back, take them in when they ain't got no place to stay. Now, all of a sudden, this family member that you helped pull basically up off their ass, they get on their feet and they start talking to you like, oh, yeah, that little money that you gave me ain't nothing. You see what I'm saying? Just ungrateful as hell, talking crazy to you. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey, man, hold up, bro. Whoa. Who you talking to? You see what I'm saying? That's basically, yeah, come on, man. Hey, Sister Stone says, she's like, oh, God, yeah, see, you see what I'm saying? That's basically what that was, man. This dude sitting up here, $350 billion, the audacity of you to sit up here with your arms folded like a little punk, sitting up here talking crazy in our country, in the Oval Office. This ain't no neutral territory. You come here with the audacity to do this. I have not seen this in decades. I can't even recall a time where a foreign dignitary came to the Oval Office and just showed their ass like this. Not in public on camera anyway. Now, probably some stuff off camera, I'm pretty sure. But like this, you just fuck it. You just gonna go balls deep in front of American press and you gonna show that you gonna continue listening to your little Democratic buddies, huh? Well, newsflash, Zelensky, the Democrats are not in office now. The president of the United States, as of right now, is Donald J. Trump. And that's who you're gonna have to deal with. $350 billion of our taxpayer dollars. You come over here with your arms folded. They're going to try to talk some sense into this jackass, though. Let's let it continue.
Tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us.
See, I got to be just as disrespectful as Zelensky. Basically, Zelensky sound like that loudmouth bitch that just won't shut the fuck up when she wrong, and you steady trying to talk sense into this motherfucker. You a smaller nation. You don't have military hardware to compete with Russia. Not even their tanks, which some of the Russian tanks are outdated, but they're in better shape than his. You don't have the ammunition to keep going without funding from the United States, because let's call it what it is. He probably spent most of that money on himself and other things. Okay, it's going to come out. Trust me, it always does. And you definitely don't have air capability to go head to head with Russian MiGs and other fighter jets that they're developing. Let me tell you something. Even though the MiG is an older aircraft, it's more up to date than anything that Ukraine has. I promise you that. And they have more of them. Okay. See, let's talk logistics when it comes to war. Okay. I want to make this make sense. If you're going to go to war with somebody, you got to look at what your economics like, first of all. Okay. Because that's going to cover with your ammunition, your fuel, your food. You got to feed your troops. Okay, then you got to look at staging and positioning. So now that's the only advantage that they have is they're both in close proximity to each other. However, when you start looking at who's got more assets to deploy, more troops, more tanks, more jets, Ukraine can't go head up with them in any sustained capacity without some backup. You see what I'm saying? So basically, Trump is trying to talk to his little pea-brain ass and be like, look, bro, ain't no way you going to win this by yourself. You in a no-win situation. And basically what he's trying to get this fool to do, accept the ceasefire, let's come to the table, work out an agreement so neither the troops on either side have to die. But basically Trump was trying to tell him like, look, man, if you get into this, we ain't funding you no more. I heard too, Trump was saying that money was a loan. He wanted back, and it should be a loan. We should get our money back. Should never went over there in the first place. But basically, Trump is letting him know that, look, if you get into it with Putin, I'm not interfering. You're going to fuck around and Ukraine going to be part of Russia again. That's what you're going to do. Now, you want to keep a country or you don't. It's as simple as that. See, sometimes that's how you have to talk to people that are delusional. Can you imagine? I would love to talk to some of their soldiers right now over there, because they know what they up against on the front line. They know it ain't no way they gonna win this damn war. No way. If they keep this up. And basically Trump is looking at it like, look, man, I'm trying to help you. You just don't realize it. But he's over here arguing like a little thought. He sounds like one of them bitches off of Love and Hip Hop right now, man. It's ridiculous. Let's let it continue.
Unless you start having
Not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what you're
You're
speaking
gambling
about?
with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
Now watch this. Let me break this part down, because you saw what Trump said, that you gambling with World War III. Let me explain specifically what happened and why he said that, okay? Because see, most people ain't gonna be able to walk you through this the way I am, because I understand how this would go on the world stage. Even if America set it out, let me tell you why eventually that might get kind of dicey. If we set it out, let me tell you what Zelensky is counting on, because he's already tried to pitch this to the European Union. He basically wants France, Germany, okay, the UK. He wants them to come in and actually help back him up against Russia. Now, if he does that, I just told you, see, I gave this information to y'all in this order for a reason. I just told you, and you can verify, I've done broadcasts about it on this channel, put information out on various platforms. Russia and China have active military agreements to help one another in times of active conflict. So now you're going to draw China into it. North Korea already like, hey, tag, let me in. Okay. So, and look, to be honest with you, it will be a long shot, but they're trying to work things out with Iran now to kind of draw them in to that military alliance that Russia and China already has. So now if you get all that going on, that's what Trump means about you playing with World War III. See, at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, Trump is really doing a good job of keeping his cool more than most people expected, because that's some shit that would have pissed me off. Let me go here. Most of us that are retired veterans, if we would have been in this room, we would have had to turn our heads and leave, because that would have pissed us off. We would be like, listen, man, what you doing is stupid. You finna get other people drawn into your bullshit because you want to be stubborn and you don't want to sit down at the table. It'll be one thing if you sat down and said, okay, we tried to sit down and work the peace treaty out. Ain't no way we can work it out. That would be one thing. Nobody will fault you for that. I get it. You the president of your nation. You trying to protect your people. But sometimes the best way to do that is to recognize when you're in a disadvantageous position. Diplomacy is your strong suit, better than trying to go toe to toe with the Russian military and you steady taking more casualties. More and more and more the longer this drag on. That's what basically Trump is trying, and JD Vance trying to get this fool to see. But he don't want that. Let's let it continue.
This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not.
That's another thing I didn't like that he did. See, let's just talk on a manhood level. This is how you can tell the Democrats been in his ear, because look, that Democrat Party, we know there's no real masculinity over there. You got to be dainty in the ass to be over there. If you're a man, you got to be fluttering around with glitter and fairy dust sprinkling behind your ass when you walk. Or you're going to have a bunch of loud mouths like Jasmine Crocker bullshit running things, okay? Bunch of damn feminists and LGBTQ over there. On a manhood level, that shit right there, oh my God, that irks me. JD Vance nor Trump is yelling at this man. Look, let me take the temperature. Maybe y'all heard something I didn't. Did y'all hear anybody yelling in this conversation so far? Did you hear JD Vance yell at this man? Because basically what he did, he tried to gaslight like a bitch in an argument. Why are you yelling at me? He basically turned into a male Karen, a Ukrainian Karen. That's what you turned into. Did y'all hear this man yell? Because I didn't hear it, man. Anybody? Hey, you free to answer however you want in my chat, okay? I'm seeing a bunch of no's. Okay. Theater of the Zuri said, GBS, am I wrong? But didn't Russia and Ukraine almost reach an agreement early in the war? But Biden and the U.S. was like, no, and tricked Ukraine. You actually correct. You're not wrong. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, let me go into detail about that. Because like I said, we didn't hear anybody yelling, but I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, there was almost an agreement early on, but what they kept doing, since Biden had a bug in his ass with Putin, Putin and Biden never liked each other, okay? Biden basically was trying to look to get the United States in a conflict because he really did want to be known as a wartime president. Let's just call it what it is. So he kept telling, Zelensky, you can see where he's acting now. Oh, don't worry about that. We got you. We're going to send you equipment and money. You ain't got to back down on nothing. You don't have to sign that agreement if you don't want that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, brother. I almost forgot about that myself. See, I have a very astute audience over here. I appreciate you for that. And y'all can go look up articles on that and you will see that the brother was right about that. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to tell the man, like, hey, man, people that were trying to tell him, like, look, diplomacy will be in your best interest, but Biden and them, they're like, whatever. We got a blank check that we're going to write you American taxpayers' money. We giving illegal aliens money. We'll give you some of this money, too, okay? Like I said, that's why I call him Biden's boo thing. But see, this little punk bitch gonna sit up here and try to turn into a Karen talking about people yelling. Now, see, from a manhood level, we don't respect that. If we in a room full of men and we discussing something, and then one of us start acting all sensitive and lying and gaslighting and stuff, that irks the other men in the room. Like, okay, now we're going to have a serious conversation. You can't act like a bitch in the conversation, okay? You can't. Bitchcraft is practiced by men and women alike. That's an ambidextrous term over here, okay? He's practicing bitchcraft right now. Let's let it continue.
Speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming.
Now, see, you just heard the man admit that he know his country in big trouble. Well, if you know, how you know stuff and you steady talking? If you know you in trouble, you should be trying to hear every solution possible being presented to you because you're not going to win this. Look, man, the logistics are just not there for you to win. And then if you go and drag other nations in this, like he said, that would be the beginning of World War III. Anytime you have multiple, look, and keep in mind the military powers that I showed you at the beginning of the broadcast, okay? If you just joining us, catch the beginning of the broadcast. I was showing you the tiers of the modern military powers where they're ranked on the world stage for a reason. You join any of those top tier countries in there and that top 5, top 10 into that, yes, you are looking at World War III. You are looking at World War III because, see, you got to understand that countries have all types of military and cooperation agreements with other smaller nations, and they'll get pulled into it. It would just be a big clusterfuck, all because of this little prissy prima donna bitch right here with his ignorant ass. And look, if his people were smart, they would get his ass out of that presidential position. I don't know how their elections work over there, but this ain't smart. You need somebody that's willing to listen to reason. Basically, this is what people be talking about when somebody can't admit that they're wrong. Being too proudful to admit when you're wrong, that's not a strength, that's a weakness, especially when you in a position of power on a global stage, you're responsible for an entire nation of people. This is highly irresponsible and disrespectful. Let's let it continue.
Okay, because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted for your president.
And Trump was right. Because, see, now Trump is starting to get pissed off. Okay? The orange man is turning red, and rightfully so. Because, look, he was trying not to go there, but when you got somebody in front of your face that damn stupid, he just let it ride, man. Look, say what you want about Trump. What a lot of people respect about this man is, look, he gonna keep it all the way funky with you if you start the bullshit, okay? Now, do I agree with everything you do? No, of course I don't. But when it comes to this, I'm like, yeah, he right, because you can't, look, they can say they don't like him, this, that, the third, but find the lie. Find the lie in what he's saying. Let's just look at true or false. And my good brother, my battle buddy, Kermit Wingfield, says he's surprised that we're not at war with Russia right now because Biden he got bold enough to tell them they was giving Ukraine weapons. And Of course, the United States would not tolerate Russia doing the same to us if we was at conflict with nobody. You're right. Because both of us have served in the United States military, and we know that if you aiding somebody that we at war with, be like, okay, bitch, you on the list next. We got to put a foot in your ass now. We all know that's how that works. So, you know, when Biden did, look, it would have been one thing if they would have just gave him the shit quiet and be like, look, we're going to help you out, close your mouth, let's just keep it out of the media. But no, Biden's stupid ass, and this is why I agree with Trump. Biden was dumb on many levels. He opened up our border and flooded us with illegal aliens. You start papering them up off of taxpayer dollars. Then you jump over here in this Ukrainian business with your nose all over in that, giving more of our money over there. You telling this man that he got a chance to win a combat situation that he can't win logistically in no shape, form, or fashion. And then you were going to sit up here and be poised to keep it going if you would have won the election. So Trump is definitely right. Biden is a dumbass. We've been saying, and Commandment was even dumber, if we believe it or not. Hell, at least with Jim Crow Joe, he could have dementia as his excuse. Commandment? Oh, she was just a thoroughbred of stupidity. Natural born dumbass, okay? Not natural born killer, natural born dumbass. That's what Commandment was. She had too many of them damn tub watch greens in between her ears, okay? That bitch would have flat backed us into World War III, man. Real talk. So I'm glad Trump checked his ass. And like I said, I'm going to cover all the bases where he was right. And I'm going to make a strong argument for anybody talking about that's not what he should have done. Okay. We're going to see by the time tonight. Because, see, that's why I gave y'all the information at the beginning of the broadcast so that you can make up your own mind whether you think this was the right thing to do or not. Let's let it continue.
Military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks.
And Trump isn't exaggerating. Let me tell you something, man. I just got to call it what it is. One thing y'all know, any of you in here that are retired ex-military, okay? You know that regardless of what conflicts we have with opposing forces, we do have a mutual respect for those that are combat proficient, clear close to our level or on the same level. And Russia is not no slouch on the ground, okay? They are not no slouch on the ground. In fact, the business, let's just take it back a little ways in history here. When the Russians invaded Afghanistan, if it wouldn't have been for American interference, and actually, you know, because there's got to call it what it is, that's where Osama bin Laden got his training from, the CIA and the United States military. If it wouldn't have been for them interfering like that, Russia would have whooped their ass. They was winning at first, okay? Until look, the Mujahideen was getting their asses kicked until United States involvement, you know, got involved and gave them weapons and training, etc. And then that's when they ran the Russians out of there. Afghanistan is not an easy terrain to fight on. For any of us that have been over there, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Damn near like, I'll tell you what, Afghanistan would kind of remind you of Death Valley in California. Hot as hell in the daytime, freezing cold at night. You got a lot of mountainous terrain over there. Okay, they know the area better than you. There's a lot of places they can hide and a bunch of caves and shit, mountains, bunch of mountain passes and stuff. And if you don't have all the intel you need on where you fighting at, that can be a difficult task. Impossible? No. Difficult? Yes. Okay. So now you think about the Russians, they were doing well at that. Look, I'm going to just put it to you like this. If you can put forces on the ground in Afghanistan and do fairly well, you have a capable combat force. Okay. That is not an easy place to fight. All right. And those of you that have been over there, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. Y'all remember what that shit was for us over there, man. Come on now. So, you know, he's basically trying to talk sense into this jackass and let him know that, man, if Russia was coming at you straight up and you didn't have no funding, no nothing, they would have rolled over your ass. And look, in a week, I would give him a week being generous. You heard Trump said 3 days. Hell, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Let me tell you why. Okay. You look at the Russian, even the outdated tanks like T-62s, shit like that. Okay. You look at the Russian MiGs, outdated fighters as well, but they have newer stuff now. I'm just giving you the basics. This is why I'm naming their older stuff, all right? Then you look at their ground forces before they even deploy anything like Spetsnaz or anything. If they give you a sustained ground with armor, strike, air support, and they inserting troops, man, that would be over so quick. Look, it's possible they could shut that shit down in 3 days because you all know, Kermit S. Wingfield, you can back me up on this. Man, all they're going to do is hit your command and control, get control of your communications, and go ahead and cut your supply lines. Hell, if need be, go ahead and cut your power and everything. Once they press you like that, I mean, now you stuck between trying to defend those key positions and stop their forces from advancing further into your terrain. You see what I'm saying? And they don't have the manpower to match them, the man to man. You see what I'm saying? So eventually they would have been overrun. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for what Trump said, for them to have had them in a bad way or on the way to losing it within 3 days. Definitely by a week or two. Yeah, shit, 2 weeks. Shit, man. And Zelensky knows this too, man. But see, when you kicking it with the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, this is the delusion that you suffer. Let's let it continue.
Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I agree with Trump there. And I'm going to tell you why. It is good that American people see what's going on because, number one, first and foremost, let me ask a basic question to the audience gathered over here tonight. Family, for your hard-earned taxpayer dollars that each of you get up and go to a job or whatever business you run, your hard-earned taxpayer dollars that you make, okay, day in, day out to take care of yourself and your family. Your taxes, all right, that tax on all the wages that you make. Don't you want to have a say in where that money goes? And if you don't have a say in it, like a lot of times we don't, wouldn't you at least like to see the people that are using our taxpayer dollars be respectful of getting those funds? Would you not agree with that? Okay, just checking the temperature of my chat room. Would you not agree with that? I'm just checking. Would you not agree with that? Because see, now what you're looking at is Zelensky up here saying, I don't care how much money you gave me. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to listen to nothing you have to say. Just ungrateful, disrespectful, and on all levels. You can't, man. I mean, it's like the audacity of that. And see, Trump is sitting here trying to tell this man. He's like, listen, man, you're not going to win. You're going to fuck around and lose your country. You're going to get other people involved in your bullshit when all you got to do is come to the table and y'all work this thing out, draw your clear borderlines, make whatever agreements you need to make, and sit down. And see, let me give you one better. Y'all want to know what's even more disrespectful? This is going to piss you off. But I got to tell you the truth because you can verify this for yourselves. Let me tell you what he didn't want to do. When I say he, I'm talking about Zelensky. Exactly, Kermit Wingfield. Biden spoiled him. And see, what I'm finna tell y'all next is going to piss you off. Do you know that after we've given this bastard $350 billion, Trump was trying to say, okay, look, man, you got this money under the last president. We didn't approve it, but since you did, and that didn't benefit us in any type of way, hey, man, let us get some of these minerals in over here that you got going on. Oh, you know, he don't want to do that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to say it again. After getting $350 billion of American taxpayer dollars, they try to cut a deal with him to get minerals, okay, some type of deal to get resources in exchange. Oh, no, he too good to do that. You see what I'm saying? See, this, man, I agree with Trump. It's good for the American public to see this type of shit. So that way, it's not going to be anything that people can spin in the media. He started this shit because they wasn't going to go here with him. But he, like Vance said, like, hey, man, you talking about stuff that we should be talking about behind closed doors. This wasn't meant for public discussion, but he took it there and he left them no choice but to defend themselves because they're defending this country at this point. And the people that voted for him. Now, I didn't vote for him, but I understand why he did what he did here. And again, it is good for us to see this because, see, let me tell you something, man. To be honest with you, I understand it's certain things, and I definitely know more than most people, that it's certain things that they can't have cameras on. But as much as the American public can see, they should see. So that way, if somebody come over here like him and get to showing their ass, everybody see how it went down. Because when it was live, it wasn't no way they could edit it. They didn't cut away to go to no commercial. They didn't put nothing up. They was like, okay, this is what's going on. And see, you know, this is where Trump is winning points with a lot of people at. He's like, hey, man, I'm glad y'all seeing this. You see what I'm dealing with here? I'm trying to work the shit out. I'm not giving them no more of our money, but I'm trying to make sure that we just go ahead and squash it so there'll be one thing less that we have to deal with. Huh? You say what you want about liking the man or not. He's winning points with people that voted for him and a lot of people that didn't vote for him, because this is just common sense. Let's let it continue.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
Now, see, people can say what they want about the orange man again. If you have a conflict going on that you see you losing, you got somebody in place that has at least semi-diplomatic relations with Vladimir Putin, okay, your opposition that's whooping your ass. Trump is saying, look, say what you want. He seemed to be able to get Putin to do what he needed to do. He did it for the last 4 years. You see, he didn't run up in Ukraine while Trump was in office the first 4 years. He could have did it. He waited till Biden punk ass got in there and pulled his move, okay? He had his reasons, but you see he didn't do it when Trump was in there the first 4 years. So now Trump has been in talks with Putin, and he's like, listen, man, yeah, we'll come to the table and talk, but you jackass here, Zelenski don't want to do that. So basically Trump is like, look, man, whatever go on, let's just get the ceasefire underway first so the bullets can stop flying on both sides, people can stop dying. Let's see if we can work this thing out. Now, how is that a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen? Can you tell me how that's a bad thing for the people that's talking about, man, Trump shouldn't have said that to him, he shouldn't have said that like that? You see what I'm saying? He basically coming at, and look, a lot of people never thought we'd probably say this about Trump. He's the level-headed one trying to think about saving people's lives in the situation. Now, how can anybody with sense say that's a bad thing? But see, the people that had never been in any type of combat zone before, they'll sit there and argue for Zelensky's side. And see, I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all probably saw me tweeted on X. That Anna Navarro and other people, because I know she ain't the only one talking about I stand with Ukraine, you disrespectful bitch, you. That's so disrespectful to every American soldier serving and any of us that have ever served. How you going to stand with another country against this nation's troops and everything? See, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say it. I don't care who I make mad and offend. Motherfuckers that do that shit, your citizenship should be revoked, especially if you're a naturalized citizen. They need to strip her of her citizenship and let her go stand in Ukraine. Don't stand with Ukraine from over here. Don't stand with Ukraine. You need to stand in Ukraine. We need to get your ass over there on the first thing smoking, and you can suit up and go fight over there since you're so loyal to this nation. That pissed me off, man. These people are crazy, man. You stand with Ukraine. Really? $350 billion of our taxpayer dollars done went over there and we ain't getting nothing in return. He don't even want to reciprocate giving us deals on mineral just to show appreciation. We just supposed to get nothing out the deal, huh? So you got to understand that a lot of moves that Trump is making, even though I don't agree with everything he does, he's trying to put America back into a position where he's like, okay, if we in something with you, you going to pull your weight. He told the European Union that. He telling NATO that. He's like, listen, man, we ain't going to be the only one footing the bill for this stuff. Huh? That's what he told the European Union because, you know, hey, they talk that tough shit. Russia has a stronger military than them. They get into it with Putin, and Trump is like, hey, man, I'm going to look over here. I ain't got nothing to do with me. Because we were paying for a lot of their protection. See, a lot of y'all probably didn't know that. I follow the numbers on this stuff. You're on my Patreon. You already know everything I'm saying. I've shown you this for years, okay? So you get where I'm coming from with that. I respect that. That's only right. You think about this national deficit we got. Giving money to all these other different places. In fact, the business so that you can verify further what I'm saying. Okay, because I got to put this in here. Y'all know what I'm about to drop in here. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, okay, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, call me everything but a child of God. We finna talk facts and numbers that don't care nothing about none of the things I just said as far as you're liking or disliking me. At your leisure, I want you to bookmark foreignassistance.gov so that you can go through that site tooth and nail and you look back through the years and see how much money we be giving to these other countries. Then on top of that, we paying for extra shit for them. No, man, it's time for that to stop, man. Jim Crow Joe Biden in 4 years got all this fucking inflation to the point where you go to the store and you damn near paying gold tier prices like eggs or diamond rings and shit. No, man, we can't afford to keep doing that. No, it's time for them to pull their own way. I can't do nothing but respect. Let's let it continue.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what
that wasn't
this
with me.
means.
That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins.
Let me explain what that statement is, because a lot of people have been asking me what he meant when he said Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. Let's break it down. When Obama was in there, because like I said, this stuff started back in 2015 for as the bullets flying. When Obama was in there, he gave them, non-combative ordnance like, supplies and blankets and stuff like that. That's what Trump is talking about. Obama gave sheets and stuff. Obama didn't give him anything to counter Russia's combat capability. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Javelin missile is a tank killer. You hear me? Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people, especially people that have served in the military, you think being in a tank is, I'm good and safe. Yeah, as long as there's not close air support on your ass, okay, with anything that's capable of piercing the armor of that tank, all right? Especially something outdated. Let me tell you something, man. One of the worst things in the world. Hey, Kermit, you probably familiar with this term before. You heard the term pop top. We know what that means, right? A pop top, where they hit your ass in that tank, and then next thing you know, now you scalding and baking alive in that motherfucker because it blew the top off of it and everything else is on fire. See, the thing about being in a tank, if you get hit with heavy close air support, good luck trying to get out of there, okay, before you burn the fuck up. All right? And that's the drawback about being in a tank. You better make sure that if you gonna be in some tanks, you need close air support defending them tanks on the ground. Because if you don't have that, or if you have ground forces that have something like a Javelin missile that's capable of busting your damn tank's ass, you in trouble. You see what I'm saying? So Trump is reminding him, like, look, man, I'm the one that actually gave you some type of defense capability, and you gonna come over here and disrespect me like that? Listen, man. A lot of people that's getting on Trump talking about he was wrong, man. I guess you don't know the facts of what the man did. Like it or not, you can verify that he actually did what he said. So that's why he looking at it like, you little ungrateful motherfucker, you. And I'm looking at it that way because we gave him $350 billion of our taxpayer dollars. Let's let it continue.
You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia...
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you see it. You see where they had to check his ass, and you see why everybody's like, yeah, we agree with Trump on that. Now, for the jackasses that's sitting over there trying to do all this twisting and trying to be contrary just for the sake of contrary, first, let's just go over some basic facts. Like I said, $350 billion of our taxpayer dollars went over there. We giving him military supplies. You're sitting here trying to draw other people into a conflict you can't win. And then that could start World War III. Definitely it would, because all these other countries going to try to get involved. All right. And it's just a reckless situation all the way around. So I'm giving you a strong argument for why Trump did the right thing here. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. You don't sit there when somebody's disillusioned and then he gonna try them in front of camera like that. This wasn't even supposed to be on camera. This is a conversation we wasn't supposed to know nothing about. But like Trump said, okay, so you're gonna go there. I'm glad everybody get to see it now. And for the jackasses that want to be contrary just for the sake of contrary, that have covered this, the one, y'all know who they are. Let me tell you something, man. I guarantee you the American public disagrees with you. The greater majority of people that saw that go down, they don't have a problem with him standing up for this country and actually checking this little delusional turbo thought here, because I'm going to call Zelenski a turbo thought. He basically the equivalent of an ungrateful stripper at a fucking strip club. All of our money being thrown over there on Biden's little boo thing. Fuck that, man. The spigot is cut off. and he need to sit his ass down and accept this peace agreement. Or you know what? If I was Trump, I would get on the phone with Putin. I'd be like, listen, man, check this out. If we can't get his ass to sit here to accept the ceasefire and we work this thing out, look, just don't touch any American assets nowhere. Do what you do. Go ahead and put Ukraine back into Russia again. That's what you wanted anyway. So just leave us out of it. Don't fuck with us. We won't fuck with you. I would tell him. I'd be like, hey, man, he hard-headed. He act like he wanted. Okay, cool. You do what you do. We not sending no more equipment, no more funds over there. Hey, man, it's out of our hands at this point. He better be glad I ain't president, because I would have told him that. All right, okay. I'm going to call your boy. I'm going to call your boy and let him know you got your chest puffed out. Because, see, you thinking that you're going to bully us into helping you. How you going to, see, this is the thing that they was trying to tell him. How you going to come to the table in a powerless position and try to throw your weight around? Because you're not going to make Trump nor Vance just do what Biden did and just give you a blank check. Then the rest of these nations that's talking about going to war with you, Russia on its own can whoop most of their asses. That's why I showed y'all. You know what? Let me put this back in here again, in case y'all didn't see it. At the beginning of the broadcast, if you just joined us, this is what you will need to bookmark to verify for yourself, where you can see where the world's most powerful militaries in the modern era are. Okay, that's 2025 information that I'm giving you. That site right there will show you what I was going over in the beginning of the broadcast. So, like I said, man, yeah, y'all see what they was trying to tell him. They was trying to explain to his idiotic ass. But see, when you're listening to them goofy Democrats, you know what I'm saying, that he was listening to, they did this is what you get made to look like in that type of meeting. This is what you get made to look like right here. Yeah, they had to play clown music for his goofy ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, look, you got to understand, they made him look intellectually small and very stupid and very selfish. Okay, and see, look, I'm going to tell you something else. It's just my conjecture. To me, that let me know that he probably do have a lot of shit going on as far as money laundering with Biden. And look, watch this. Let me thread this needle. Family, why you think Biden gave himself and all of his family and most of his cabinet members a pardon? Why you think he gave all them people pardons, huh? Don't you know that Biden was like, okay, yeah, cause think about it. They already caught his son Hunter Biden on that board of Burisma over there. Oh, we didn't forget about that. Don't you know that he was like, yeah, all this shit we've been doing in here these 4 years. Now, you know he ain't pardoning none of the niggers, okay? He left them on their own, okay? But he pardoned all of his family and most of his little upper staff members there, except for the black ones. Now, why was that? Why you think he did all that pardoning? Oh, the truth gonna come out, though. Don't worry. So, family, I'm gonna show you something else here. Because, see, when you listen to delusional Democrats, I want to play something for y'all, man, and this is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. I want you to put your listening ears on this, because, see, this is the party right here. I'm finna show you an example of how deranged and delusional and how much of a pathological liar a lot of the Democrat Party is. They will say something and then turn around and say something else in the same conversation and say they didn't say it. I'm about to play this example for y'all. I want y'all to check this out.
Can we be real for a moment that Doge is not about cutting money, right? It's not about spending. It's about shrinking government so that it'll be too small to stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? You're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because they want to shredding the Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
And no matter who is in office, I'm going to hold them accountable. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at all
said. We said they are upholding the Constitution.
Now, family, let me pause this right here. Do you hear this woman? Do you hear this woman? Family, did you or did you not just hear Touré and this woman talk about shredding the Constitution? Did we not just hear that? Did we not? Is it just my ears or did y'all hear what I heard? Do I need to take that back? How many of y'all need me to play that back so that you hear what they said? Did y'all catch it? Give me a thumbs up in the chat room if you caught it. Because I'm showing you how when you become a pathological liar, you will forget what you said in present conversation. And somebody will have to bring it back to you like, you just said this seconds ago. No, it didn't. Do you know how sick that is? Yeah, you know what? Let me run it back. A lot of y'all say y'all got it. I want Tanisha Murdoch's sister here. I want her to hear it. Check this out. We're going to run it back one time, family. Okay, we're going to run it back one time because I don't want y'all to catch these pathological liars here, man. This is the Zelensky's partners right here, man. You know, the people in that party that's advising him. Check this out. We're going to run it back one time.
Stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? You're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because they want to shredding the Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
Now, you just heard Touré, because he is shredding the Constitution and he's creating an authoritarian dictatorship. And you see this heifer here with her eyes bucking all over the place. Now, watch what they finna sit here and say. This was in the same conversation. Watch what they're about to say. Check this out now. Zelensky's pals, y'all.
No matter who is in office, I'm going to hold them accountable. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at all
said. We
what I
said they
said.
are
Yeah, it is.
upholding the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, and at times
How
that
is
we have
Trump
seen.
shredding the Constitution?
My God, he's like, should
I
we
mean,
go to
seriously, do we have to give you?
Now, we heard this man, Touré, say that Trump is shredding the Constitution and trying to create an authoritarian dictatorship. And then she's going to turn around and say that, oh, no, we said he was upholding the Constitution. No, you didn't. You can't make this up. This is lying on live TV. This is how sick you have to be a part of that damn Democrat Party. And no, I'm not telling you to be a Republican, but these are just open, bold-faced liars right here. Both parties are liars, okay? Let's be honest, but this shit like that, I mean, come on, man. And Abby Phillips, y'all know I find her very attractive, but baby, you over there with them damn liberals. You contaminated. She's beautifully chocolate, but she's contaminated with that damn liberal disease, okay? And that demonic, deranged, degenerate party. Abby, we got to reform you, baby. I can't do nothing with you while you like that. But family, I'm saying, all jokes aside, these are the lies that they tell, and this is who is advising Zelensky. These are his pals here. Let's let it continue.
Civics lesson that we have. I don't know we put all power in the executive branch. The legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military. We're silencing media. This is what you do in a dictatorship.
Are you suggesting that the president is not the commander-in-chief of the military?
I am suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution. And at some near point, this conversation will look very silly for you because it will be obvious. And right now, you're gaslighting. But when we get to the actual rubber of the road of this, it will be clear.
I'm interested in this conversation. He's going to put someone in charge who will contravene the Constitution. Like who? What do you mean by that? The president is in charge of the military, is he not? You said he's going to put someone in charge of the military?
You see how this fool is looking so confused over here on the right? And I hate to see a Negro sit up here looking this silly. Man, yes, the president is definitely in charge of the military. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, okay? When he said that, you saw how he cocked his head to the side like a confused puppy? Embarrassing. But see, this is what the Democrats want to put up here as the face of black manhood, and this is why we don't rock with that party. You got to be effeminate, dainty, goofy-looking, incompetent, like this clown up here, and you got this white man up here making a fool out you. Look, that's what he's doing. I got to call it like it is. And they wonder why black men don't fool with this party, man. Y'all better understand what the bullet we dies without having commandment get back in office. Y'all just don't understand. You better thank your blessings that woman didn't get back in office, because as bad as shit was under Biden, it would be far worse now. At least we got a chance to straighten some of this shit out in 4 years here if the orange man actually do his job. And shout out to Tom Homan. They need to get their immigration numbers up, and I suspect they will over time. I want all illegals out of here. We don't need no more immigration of any kind for the next 20 years. And that's the one thing, too. I have a problem with Elon Musk punk ass, because he wants more cheap labor for his corporations with that H-1B visa program. We got enough Americans right here to do any job. You just got to pay them a living wage. So other than that, I agree with the Doge shit that Elon got going on, but that H-1B visa, nah, shut that down. I'm hoping Trump go ahead and put the brakes on that bullshit. There's plenty of Americans right here. And look, if you're a right wing or white conservative, listen to this broadcast tonight, that's what y'all need to be going hard in the paint on, because that's y'all party. They're going to listen to y'all. You need to get on your president and be like, look, that H-1B visa shit, that need to go. Don't sit up there and try to keep that shit in place because you want to hurt black people, because that's really what a lot of shit in this country come down to. You're trying to deprive black people of things. Like, are the blacks going to get it? Oh, well, we don't need it. Okay. You do that shit this time if you want to. It's going to hurt you more than it hurts us. But see, I'm showing you how incompetent these damn goofy Democrats are. I'm going to let the rest of this play, and then we're going to get into something else that go to show you why I call that liberal mindset a damn disease. Let's let it continue.
Is in charge of the military. That is how it works.
He was elected president. We, according to the Constitution, vest all executive authority in a president. And the concept that the military should be an independent agency, or that the bureaucracy should resist the political leadership of this government, is extraordinarily dangerous.
That's just straw man. That's literally not what we said.
I'm just repeating back to you your own words.
I did not.
And he exactly did that. He repeated back to them their own words, and I did not say that. Now, I played that back. Y'all saw he caught them in several lies. Y'all saw that with y'all own eyes. Same conversation. Caught them in several lies. This is the type of pathological liars that they have over there in that liberal media and that damn Democrat Party. And again, I'm not saying the Republicans are better, but I'm showing you how deranged they are. That shit is crazy, man. Live TV, and we'll sit down. Oh, I didn't say that. Like, you do know this is live, right? Insane. But see, we got to cover the last part of this broadcast tonight, because if you thought that example that I showed you was bad enough, oh no, because look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, now this is something I don't disagree with, okay? I don't sit horses with Elon on a lot of things. There's that lie he told about white South Africans going through a genocide. That's a lie, and it wasn't been in South Africa. We know he was lying about that. But when he said that, okay, he wanted most people that work for the federal government to send in that email and say, hey, give me a list of what you got done this week. Hey, I don't have a problem with that, because one of the things he was saying was a lot of people are getting paychecks, and they've discovered some of these people might not even be real people. So, see, this is where I agree with the Doge thing at. Follow the money. We deserve to know where our money's going. These Democrats and Republicans got shit set up, but they got all kind of fraudulent stuff going on. Look at what they uncovered with the Social Security Administration, where you got people 130 years old receiving Social Security checks in excess of that. Just, you know that money. Who that money going to? Because there ain't no person alive living like that old. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I want to know if some of these federal employees, if they exist or not. Because if they don't, look, just think about, can you imagine this? They got a scam set up where a non-existent employee is getting a paycheck, and that's somebody that exists on paper, but it's not a real person. So he's like, hey, just send in an email saying what you did. And they just freaking out about that. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, well, you know, the white women, they don't like that, because, you know, Becky's used to getting everything her way and getting whatever she wants, you know, and now that you have to hold her accountable, because the white women are going to be hurt by the federal job cuts the most. Let's be clear, in white LGBTQ. I'm going to play something for you, and you're going to see just how irate Becky is about having to send in an email. She's going to compare it to something, but I'm going to let her tell you better than I can. Let's play it.
Today, I responded to the email that we received as federal employees asking us to report 5 things that we accomplished last week. I'm not worried about my 5 things. I have plenty of things to report. I did plenty of work last week. But the feeling of just like absolute existential dread that I felt typing out a response to that email is something that I wish I could convey to everyone, because it felt like such a glimpse into the reality that they are trying to create. And it was terrifying. It felt like...
Y'all, you heard this bitch. She said she was terrified by email. Terrified by email asking you to list 5 things you did in your work week. This is look, the ultimate Karenosity that you're about to witness right here is this shit. See, this is why I couldn't date one of them. Even if I just threw the history of our people to the side, all the people that in our community have gotten killed and murdered. Okay, we see what just happened to Telvin Osborne. I'm gonna be covering that on Patreon in a couple of days. We're gonna break all that down from the A road to the zero. But man, I couldn't deal with them because this is how delusional they are. This is how insane their class of women are. This is why they having problems with their women. You think I want one? Hell no. Watch where this heifer's finna go with this. She terrified by email, y'all. Let it continue.
You will do what I say or else. The email that we received did not say that failure to respond would be taken as a resignation. But the post on X did say that. And leadership at my agency is pretty much like, the email's authentic, but we don't know if the threat is or is not. We are going to respond, but kind of left it up to each of us to decide what to do. We have received more emails about all of the fucking bullshit going on with Doge and Elon and all of this federal employee stuff that like I've spent more time in the last couple of weeks navigating these emails, going to these town hall meetings, going to these other meetings, making sure that so that the leadership can break down what's happening and tell us how we need to respond and tell us what the fuck is going on and tell us, oh, you might lose your job because when your FTE runs, like there's so many things that they're having to convey to us. And so nothing that actually should normally be getting done and accomplished is being done or accomplished because we're all so busy fucking trying to navigate this hellscape that is happening. That is waste. That and the fact that the studies we work on, if we are worried that they might be considered, something that will lose funding, what's the point in working on it now? And has the last year, 2, 3 years of work we've done on it been for naught? Like, that's wasteful. Like, this whole thing is an exercise for them to show us how much power they have and how little we have and how we must do what they say. And it's so insane because, again, who the fuck is Elon? Like, and how does he get to decide that he is king of the federal employees, king of HR at the Office of Personnel Management, and he gets to tell us, send this email or you're fired, like you lose your job. There's no rationale here that makes it make any sense outside of, look how much power I have and you better fucking listen or your livelihood is gone. The 2 million people that are gonna have to respond to this email, if they choose to, are they gonna go through 2 million emails to make sure that they were honest, to make sure that they were authentic, to make sure that the items listed out were relevant to the people's jobs, to make sure that the person, like, there's so many things that would have to happen for them to like actually legitimately go through these emails, and that's not going to happen because it just...
Well, you see, she got a problem, boy. It's just all this mindless male babbling, okay? Becky babbling all out of mouths here. Listen, look, Becky, because I'm a benevolent guy and I like to give solutions, okay, to problems. Emily, I have a suggestion for Becky, okay? Now, if she doesn't want to send an email and it terrifies her so bad and, she's just blah, 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 diarrhea of the mouth, it's you got such a problem. Well, Becky, you can quit your federal job and you can hop on OnlyFans, okay? There's always OnlyFans. It's still kicking for now, okay? There's going to be some changes of that coming in the future, mark my words, but you can still get in there, Becky, okay? You hop on OnlyFans and all your problems are solved. I'm just trying to be helpful, fam. Let's let it continue.
Like, it can't happen, and again, like, it's just a flex. It's just, you need to know who's in charge. And this is one of the ways we're making you aware. And the feeling that I felt responding to that email was such a glimpse into a possible future here, a probable future here, if we don't fucking do something about it. It felt so scary and so heartbreaking. It felt much like I would imagine living in a place like what I always imagined North Korea to be like, where the energy is, yes, master.
Did you hear this goofy bitch? This silly alabastress. This motherfucker is sending an email that say, give me 5 bullet points of what you did in your work week. That's it. They told her, don't send no classified information. She act like this. Hey, you got to bust it wide open, put it on tape, send this in with your 5 bullet points. Okay. We need you to, go get some goats and midgets and stuff. She just act like they asked her to shoot a porno scene or something in the damn email and send that in. This bitch compared this to North Korea. Oh my God. Look, let me tell you something, man. You better be glad I ain't in charge, because see, I was like, oh, okay. You think it's like North Korea? So you need to go see what North Korea is like, man. I would call up Kim Jong. I'd be like, hey, man, get one of the cells in the work camp ready. We got a visitor coming over there for you. Mm-hmm. I will ship your ass right on over there so you can see what that's like. I hate when these motherfuckers compare things that are horrific and tragic to some minor shit. North Korea, man, most of them people over there would trade places with you any day of the week. You could take the average North Korean citizen, if you could pluck them out from that country and say, look, all you got to do to not go back over there is do this job and every week send in 5 bullet points of what you did. Don't you know they were killed to take that opportunity? Them people are living in pure D hell right now under Kim Jong-un. And you gonna sit up here and compare an email to that. But see, you know they're bad at that because they always stay trying to compare other things to slavery. And first of all, you can't compare nothing to the slavery that my people went through here on American soil. You can't. Okay? They always try to exaggerate and bring up non sequiturs and red herrings and straw mans and things that don't have nothing to do with one another over something trivial. Somebody told your hard-headed ass to send in an email of 5 things that you go exaggerate talking about, oh my God, it's like North Korea. Or I would send that bitch right on over there so she could learn what North Korea is like. Let's let it continue.
Which is my command. And again, these people that we're reporting to are people that have no expertise outside of like tech. They don't know anything about the health services that are operated through the federal system or about anything, really. And now half of the CDC workforce is gone and the national park rangers are like largely gone. These are people who have worked their lives to have the careers they have, who have gone to school for this, who have built a career over years, decades. And now some man and his very ridiculously young tech bros are taking away the careers of lifelong federal employees, people who have devoted their lives to this country, to the government, who have taken the oath. We all take an oath to the Constitution. That's not just for military and for people in politics. That's for all federal employees. And people take it really seriously. Things get done. Things continue on and things are happening because people are doing their jobs. There are people all over the place that are not doing their jobs everywhere all the time. That is certain. And that extends surely into people that work for the federal system. But everything that's happening is not because they don't think we do work. It's because they want to say, we have power over you. And that is a feeling that everybody should fear feeling when the people in charge of the place you live start to exercise that power in a way that there's no like real reason for outside of you will know who's in charge here. Like I am the captain now is the energy.
Oh, did you hear what she just said? Oh, Becky. Oh, you don't like that feeling, do you? Well, bitch, welcome to what it feels like to be a black person in America, you raggedy motherfucker, you. Lice loaded mother man. Yeah, that's how black people feel. But it's cool until you get to feel it, huh? Because, see, they feeling a lot of what black folks get to feel now, and they coming, oh, black people, you were right. I don't want to hear that. Take your goofy, lice-loaded head back on over there and figure it out. Hold your own lice, okay? Hold them. Take the back over there. Take your unwashed alabaster ass over there and do what you been doing. Don't come run over to black people talking about we was right. Nope, because you didn't care when everything was cool. But now that the orange man in there, he giving it to everybody. He like, hey, all of y'all gonna get some of this. And see, I'm gonna tell you something, family. You know what my conjecture is with this? A lot of these people that's whining about these emails and everything like this, I'm gonna tell you what I think. By the time this Doge audit is over and it's scheduled to end in July, I'm thinking that a lot of these people that's doing all this crying and whining the most, they're the ones that probably got something to do with all this money going places where it shouldn't be going. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing Pam Bunny put some charges on these folks because, boy, if they start locking up white people behind this, that's where I'm gonna be able to tell if they're serious about this. Cause I'm like, okay, you know for a fact the money's being stolen. What the charges? That's when I'll take them serious. Then I'm like, okay, now when you start locking up the white, because no ain't no niggas, well, very few Negroes, it's stupid enough to get in there, but it's gonna be most of them folks, okay? Because they ain't gonna let no black folks get their hands on all that money like that. When they start locking up the white folks that's participating in the stealing, that's when I'll take it serious. Let's let it continue.
That's terrifying. Like I said, this is a glimpse into a future that is really scary. And everything that's happening, this isn't, again, looking for fraud and waste.
Yeah, you heard that heifer right there. I'm sorry I had to make y'all suffer through that alabastrous nonsense, okay? Mayo babble, out the mouth, diarrhea of the mouth. But see, now you see what they're whining and complaining about. And again, that's that liberal mindset. And Becky's been privileged for so long now with these federal and government jobs, you know what I'm saying, that most black people and black women can't get. You know what I'm saying? The only black people that get that kind of stuff is if you're sassy and dainty, Like I said, you got fairy dust flying from behind you when you walk, okay? And you slashing around like Billy Porter. And if you ain't doing none of that, then you ain't gonna get close to most of them jobs like that. Family, I think I made my point here on all things covered over here tonight. So I hope that everybody can understand this and got something out of it. I'm gonna leave this up. Okay, if something happens to it, you know where you'll be able to find it, over on Patreon. That's where we put everything. If they decide to take this down, because, you know, I tried to be as mild as I could with some things, but I had to kind of give you some information over here tonight that most people weren't going to talk about, you know, because I was skating on thin ice, believe me. When you get to talking about, you know, advanced surveillance equipment like those Rivet aircraft, yeah, you kind of walking the line then. So anyway, if anything happens to it, I'll put it on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who contributed to the broadcast tonight. I hope everybody learned something over here. And remember, we are a great and mighty people, and regardless of what these Alabaster folks got going on, we're going to be all right as long as we focus on our own empowerment and stay codified amongst one another. Salute to you, Black First, and I will see you all in future content.